I'm curious about the specifics, which I don't know about. During the introduction about the New York Times, you worked for them, and were you writing as a journalist or a columnist? And what exactly was that incident where you got fired?
I would be the last person they would allow to write as a columnist.
Okay.
I was a foreign correspondent for pretty much 15 years, and I came back to the United States. I was in the Middle East for 7 years. I covered the war in the former Yugoslavia. I was in Sarajevo, and then I covered Al-Qaeda based in Paris. I came back to the United States and watched this propaganda effort to attack Iraq, a country that I have spent months of my life in. I was in the first Gulf War. I went into Kuwait, occupied Kuwait with 1st Battalion, 1st Marines. I was in Basra during the Shiite uprising until I was captured and taken prisoner by the Iraqi Republican Guard. I like to say I was embedded with the Iraqi Republican Guard. And like most Arabists, I speak Arabic, I understood that that every argument put forth to invade Iraq was based on fantasy. It was utopian, the way Thomas More coined the word in 1516, utopia, which means literally no place, doesn't exist. We've probably never thought of Dick Cheney as a utopian. But in that sense, he was. The idea that democracy was going to be implanted in Baghdad and emanate outwards across the Middle East, the idea that we were going to be embraced as liberators, the idea that the oil revenues would pay for reconstruction. This was a non-reality-based belief system. And for those of us who came out of the Middle East, we realized that Saddam Hussein's regime was a shadow of what it had been before 1991. His military was decrepit and useless. He was isolated, spending most of his time locked in lavish palaces writing bizarre romance novels. His heir apparent Uday had been badly crippled, almost killed in an assassination attempt. It was a policy of containment, and we can argue about the sanctions. But the policy of containment was working. He was neither a threat to his neighbors nor to us. And so to speak out about this at that time was, although I spoke from great personal experience, was deemed a political position.
What did you say specifically that offended them so much?
Well,
all those things, or
all those things.